Hello, this is Jeff from Stu41 Gaming, and welcome to the next episode of the 41 Show. I was a little bit undecided about what I was going to be doing this week, but I keep seeing more and more and more articles about Destiny 2 and how people are like, oh, dude, just everybody that's mad at Destiny 1 didn't play it, or they're a bunch of spoiled babies. And I gotta call it out. We're going to town on these mofos. We are talking about Destiny and Destiny 2 for this episode of the 41 Show. We are taking these guys to fucking pound town this week. If there's going to be a rage-fueled episode of this podcast, this is probably going to be it. So, as always, I will be watching the live chat. So, if anybody wants to jump in and go to town with me, I will have a good laugh with you. So, let us begin Destiny 1, the development for Destiny 1 in particular. And take it from me, and if you look on this channel, I was hyped for Destiny 1. There are way too many videos about that game on this channel. So, I wanted Destiny to be amazing more than probably anyone else, to be honest, because I was a huge fan of Bungie, of the Halo games. There's a picture of Halo 3 on the background that you'll be seeing if you're watching this on YouTube or VidMe. Halo 3 is possibly my favorite game of all time. I basically worship that game. Oh, Halo 2's up here too. I keep forgetting it's off to the side. So, much love to Halo. It was at one point probably my favorite franchise of all time before some slight missteps with like Halo 4, Halo Reach, and especially Halo 5. So, when I first saw the freaking trailer for Destiny at E3, I believe it was 2012, 2013, one of those two. Holy shit. I cannot tell you how excited I was for that game. My hype meter was through the roof. I was so ready for Destiny. It was unbelievable. It was probably the most hyped I've ever been for a video game. Between that and probably Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3 were my most hyped games. So when we got Destiny, what we know is Destiny today, I was pretty pissed off. I reviewed the game twice for this channel. So yeah, oh my god, it's one of the biggest fuck ups I believe in recent video game history. So Destiny, as a lot of people probably know by now, was actually in development for a decent while. Jason Jones said he had the original idea like all the way back in 2005 or 2006, I believe. I saw that somewhere. I was looking around for it, but I couldn't find it. But I know I read it somewhere, if it was IGN or what. But development actually started on it in 2010, like right after Halo Reach release. So they got Halo Reach out, they split from Microsoft, Bungie was gone from that shit, and they started on Destiny pretty quick. So they got things going. It was all set apparently for the September 2013 release date, which would have put it before the, as we now know, current gen consoles. Interestingly enough, I always did wonder if they were planning on doing a next gen version or how that worked out. So they had everything set. Everything was ready, basically, in early 2013 when Jason, what's his name? I had it up here somewhere. I had it on the Wikipedia I've been looking at. So Joseph Staten, that's his name. Joseph Staten, the architect of the Halo universe. Alright? Just remember that. This guy is responsible for arguably the greatest video game universe of all time. So Joseph Staten he laid out a big cut of the story to the upper management of Bungie and Jason Jones, And apparently it did not sit well with them. So they basically tossed it out. What's his name? Staten got... I think he left. I don't think he got fired. I think he just quit, which is understandable. He's now back with Microsoft Studios, by the way. Remember, if anybody says Microsoft doesn't take care of their own, just show them to Joseph Staten and what's his face, Casey Hudson. They both work for Microsoft now, by the way. But Jason or Joseph Staten, I keep calling him Jason. Joseph Staten left, and as it was laid out, they basically wrote the story without writers. Because Staten's writing team, which was all the Halo people, just apparently I don't know if they didn't know what to do or what, but they said they apparently had no leader, and it was basically written without writers. So I remember seeing Jason Jones and someone else apparently wrote the story as we know it for Destiny 1's release. And when you say wrote the story, they basically mean they just cobbled together a couple different ideas and threw it out. It was even said in the Wikipedia article that they wrote the story at the most basic level, and then I randomly just thought of the speaker. Just I don't have time to tell you why I don't have time to tell you. Just for some reason that randomly pops in my head and I always laugh at it. So they focused even more on the gameplay aspects because they knew they had dick for a story. So that right there explains why Destiny 1's story is a complete fuck up. And don't give me the shit about the Grimoire cards. Oh, just go to Bungie's website. Go look at the Grimoire cards. You have to unlock the Grimoire cards. You have to unlock this game's story and this game's lore. It's not all there for you to just play through. You have to unlock it. I mean, I can't say it any better than that. They didn't give two shits about the story. They fired the guy who created the greatest video game universe in existence. Okay? If I'm Jason Jones and Bungie upper management, how do you fire this guy? How? This dude literally has probably made you more money than, okay, maybe Activision's $500 million may have changed that a little bit, but holy shit. How do you doubt this guy? Apparently, it was something to do with Jason Jones wanted the player to be able to go anywhere they wanted to at any point in time. Oh yeah, how'd that work out? It doesn't matter when there's no fucking story. When I can go anywhere I want and just run around, kill some bad guys, okay. What's the reason for killing bad guys, Jason Jones? Oh, what's that? There isn't one. Holy shit, what a fucking revelation, Jason! How did you come to this? How did you let this happen? You have got to give Staten the benefit of the doubt when he has created one of the best universes of all time. Halo is right up there with Pokemon for being able to basically accomplish any medium it wants to. Books. We haven't gotten the movie yet, but we almost did. We almost got the movie. We got the video game. We did get the TV show, and the TV show was pretty shitty. But no other universe has ever done this and done it successfully. As successfully, I should probably say, as Pokemon and Halo. They're right neck and neck. So when Staten comes up here and you don't necessarily like what he's going for, you rework it. Delay the game. Which they ended up doing anyway. But you keep this guy. You don't fire your head writer who created the goddamn Halo universe. Jesus Christ. Whoever's idea that was I don't get it. Again, there is some rumors that Staten left, but yeah, okay, he decided to leave the company amidst the reboot. So they must have, just decided to go hard reboot everything, which it's idiotic. There's no other way to put it. It's a hard reboot of everything this guy did. No wonder this game has dick for a story. So you can even watch the trailers and see the Queen's brother was originally supposed to be like a renegade guardian. Your guy actually like talked to people in the game outside of just talking to ghosts. So they rebooted everything, and apparently I think the original story I remember reading, I think it was an IGN article, was that the Guardian or the Traveler, the Traveler was supposed to be the bad guy, which is still infinitely more interesting than whatever we are getting now. So the Guardian, everyone's like worships the Guardian basically, or the Traveler. Everyone basically worships the Traveler as we know it nowadays. And basically how that was going to work is it's going to be the same thing. Everybody worships the Traveler, but you discover that the Traveler is actually the bad guy, or bad entity, or whatever the hell you want to call it. So again, that is so much more interesting than all the Fallen and everything just follow the Traveler and try and eat its light. It's the darkness, dude. It's so dark. Not to mention we never actually meet an entity of the fucking darkness. So that's the thing that I never will understand, is that the darkness is collectively the Cabal, the Fallen, the Hive, but they actually fight each other and like hate each other. So when they are collectively the darkness and they actually fight each other, it still doesn't make any sense. But it's God damn it. The more I think about this game and what could have been, it just depresses the fuck out of me because of how hyped I was for this game. But god damn it, we've got to push on because we've got some shit to go through. So one of the most contentious things about Destiny's development was the fact that they admitted this, by the way, which when people say they love Destiny and love coming back to it, they obviously have no fucking clue what they're talking about. So Destiny, fully admitted by developers of Bungie, Destiny was created to be addictive. They studied behavioral sciences. It's right here in an IGN article, by the way. It's official. They used behavioral psychology to make the game appealing and addictive. They handcrafted it, did it on purpose. So basically, whenever you hear someone say, "Dude, I have dropped 1,000 hours in Destiny, dude. I literally love this game, so shut the fuck up." They're little, just link them the article. Just here, I'll have it in the description. Bungie used behavioral psychology to make Destiny appealing. It's on IGN. Just go to IGN and search it. Just link them that article and call them the fucking stupid ass hamsters they are, because that's literally what they are. The game is handcrafted to basically be addictive. It's basically the same sensation you get while gambling. So whenever you get people saying they spent $200 on Destiny, they've gotten all the expansions, just that's what it is they are fucking hamsters. They are addicted essentially to gambling. Only they don't view it as gambling because it's a video game, but you get what I mean. Destiny was handcrafted to suck people in, and basically, as Dan Dwyer put it, the Farmville of FPSs. Instead of grinding land, you are grinding loot and farming. I think that's what he said, was farming, because it was Farmville. farming loot, farming gear, stuff like that. So Destiny was handcrafted with the best FPS gameplay ever, really. I will give Bungie that. They did accomplish that. The shooting in Destiny is some of the most solid shooting you will ever see in an FPS, if not the most solid shooting you'll ever see in an FPS. It's very fair. Guns recoil. It's how you would expect to handle a gun. After anything I will say against Bungie and against Destiny, they have some goddamn good shooting gameplay in that game. And that was on purpose, as we see now. It was created to have the best shooting ever and be as addictive as humanly possible. So, excuse me. So, moving on, Marty O'Donnell. If it sounds familiar, he created the greatest OSTs ever for a video game in Halo. The Halo 1 theme song, as iconic as ever. Halo 2, Halo 3, Reach, ODST, where he really shows his range with like a really jazz-inspired soundtrack. Marty O'Donnell is easily probably one of the best composers in the world. When you hear the Halo sound, Halo theme, you know instantly what it is. You've only probably had to hear it in the game once, and it will be stuck into your head forever. But Marty O'Donnell made the music for Destiny, and even though it did get awards, I will say this, I don't think it's nearly as good as what he did with Halo 1, 2, 3, and Reach. But it's still not bad, and Paul McCartney helped with some of the songs. I think he just gave ideas for some of them, and then he had his song at the credits. Okay. I'm not a huge Beatles fan, but I will acknowledge they are a huge impact in the music industry. That song sucks. I did not like the Halo or the Destiny credits song that Paul McCartney did. Mainly probably because it's written about Destiny and Destiny's story. And, well, it's non-existent story. So when he's talking about a hope for the future, we're really talking about the hope for Destiny's future as a video game franchise, not my guardian running around doing shit because he's running around doing shit. He doesn't really have a reason. He's just being told shit and, okay, I'll do it, whatever. He doesn't defend the people of the city. He's doing shit because he got brought back to life and he's being told to do shit. So Marty O'Donnell was unceremoniously fired in early 2014 from Bungie without cause. He sued them and he cleaned the fuck up. And a lot of interesting details were released during Marty O'Donnell's trial that Bungie probably didn't necessarily want to be released. I was having trouble finding them, though, as I was pulling shit together. I was running a little bit behind. But Marty O'Donnell laid into Bungie, and he was laying into Activision as well. He blamed Activision for really, I think, breaking up the Bungie freewheeling spirit that I think they had going through the Halo games, and it just sounded like shit wasn't fun anymore. And when Marty O'Donnell was one of the top 5 people at Bungie, and he got canned without cause, like I said, and he's off making his own game called Golem. I think it's a VR game, a PSVR game for Highwire Games. That's the name of the company he founded. But yeah, he railed against them big time. So I really wanted when that happened, I was praying that Microsoft was going to swoop in and hire him in an instant, because Halo 4's music wasn't bad, but comparing it to Halo 1, 2, 3, and Reach and ODST, it doesn't even come close to those games where it's audio perfection, musical perfection in those games. So I was really hoping Microsoft would swoop in and hire him, but did not happen. He went off and founded his own studio, and I do wish him success because he created one of the just some of the greatest ODSTs ever made. But moving on to microtransactions, cut content. Destiny basically is fully on admitted that Bungie fully on admitted that a lot of content was cut from Destiny just to be repackaged for DLC. Mercury with the Osiris's temple, that's the big one, and that was all done after the Staten got fired or left or whatever, and they just went wild, basically just cutting content, trying to simplify the game, and this is really, I think, a casualty of the fact that Destiny's trying to be a quasi MMO. Listen, Bungie. Just so happens you're working with the company that works with Blizzard. Okay? What little game did Blizzard make about 11 or 12 years ago? That would be called World of Warcraft, an MMO, the greatest MMO ever created. Cutting content with your game already having zero content is possibly a bad idea. You listening, Jason Jones, buddy, pal? You only created some of the greatest shooters ever made, and now you've completely lost your head? Listen, I'm not saying Jason Jones' ego has gotten a little bit big over the years, but yeah, it's gotten a little big over the years. So when you're cutting content from your game that doesn't have content for expansions that have little to no content because you're cutting content from your game that has dick for content, I think I'm a little suspect. I'm suspecting you, I guess I should say, of being full of shit. And basically, from what a lot of details went on, everything for the season pass was going to be in the base game. And even some of the Taken King stuff, like the Osiris, Mercury, that was supposed to be in the base game. So I really think the Taken King, basically Destiny, after the Taken King was released, that was going to be the full game. Because to be perfectly honest, when they cut down all that content from Staten's writing and all that story and all that stuff, it was painfully obvious that something was missing. Namely, the fact that at the very launch of the game, each class had a third class that they could use, or that didn't show up, because Titans had the Void, they had their Arc, like Slam, that class, the Void Shield, the Protector class, and then there was nothing for where it looked like there was going to be a third one. Like maybe you unlocked it after you got to the end of the game. Nope. Just sat there, empty, until Taken King came out. And then Titans got the Fire Hammer and all that stuff. So it is so obvious that they cut content. And Jason Jones, buddy, MMOs, their base game has a lot of content. Each expansion has to have a reason to cost $30, $40. It's the reason why World of Warcraft recently has been getting some shit. Mainly for Warlords of Draenor, which had dick for content. But even Burning Legion with all that expansions, fallibilities, and there are many, at least it has gotten a lot of content. So when Taken King added a decent amount of content, it basically reworked light, the light levels. You can make an argument that it should have costed, though, probably a little bit less, maybe $30 instead of now, what was it, like 50? So Taken King, that was how Destiny should have been at the launch, and basically that was base game Destiny. If Bungie and Activision even had a little bit of sense in what they were doing, they really, if you bought Destiny within the first few months at launch, you should have gotten a big ass discount. But they're never going to admit outright that they cut content, and firing Staten was a humongous fuck up that never should have happened. Well, and that's mainly because Activision is the literal embodiment of Satan in the video game world, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, why should we be wary of Destiny 2? Well, let's see if there's an actual fucking story, for one. And granted, Taken King did at least do something story-wise with Cayde 6, and he at least added some characters to some of the different characters. It just is a shame it took them like an entire 2 years, or however long it was between base launch and Taken King, to actually do that. So, we're finally getting at least something character-wise. Destiny 2 at least seems to be doubling down on Cayde 6 at the very minimum. At least they're not completely fucking that up. So, they're at least pushing in some direction with the story. We're at least going to get something for a story. But I know a lot of people, besides the story, they talk about the cut content, the shitty expansions for Destiny 1 as the reason why Destiny 1 is so hated. It's the reason why I really do think Destiny 2 is not going to sell. It'll sell, but it's not going to hit Destiny 1 sales, that's for sure. And we don't even know what Destiny 1 sales are. If I had to guess, probably the 10 to 15 million range. But Destiny 2, it'll probably, I think it might hit 10. But it's going to be really, really watched hard. And at the first sight of bullshit, it is going to get laid into by absolutely everyone. This could be the first big game where the gaming community is going to seriously determine how it ends up doing after launch. Activision and Bungie are not going to be in control. If they fuck up, Destiny 2 is going to get destroyed. Because there are so many jaded fucks like myself that really hate Destiny 1. And we really, really want to see Destiny 2. Admittedly, myself, I hope it's good. I never want a game to be shit. But we're kind of chomping at the bit here, like, come on. Give us our torches and pitchforks, motherfucker. See what happens. So when Destiny 2 comes out, and if it fucks up, if Bungie and Activision really screw up with their expansions and content that's going to be added later, if there's zero content at launch, we're going to get some revenge for Destiny 1. Let's just say that. So, with Destiny 2, wait. Do not, under any circumstance, pre-order this game. You wait. You make them sweat it out. You make Bungie and Activision earn every cent. So, just let the hamsters pre-order, because we know the Destiny, Bungie, Activision hamsters that have sunk 1,000 hours in this game say, dude, yeah, I spent $200 on this game. Stop being a whiny little bitch, even though this game had shit for content, and I'm a complete fucking idiot who has no clue what I'm talking about. Just let them go do their thing. Just show them that IGN article and stop that right there. So when Destiny 2 comes out, just keep your eye out for it. If it's bad, we will let them know. So thanks for watching, or thanks for listening.